Do you find yourself overwhelmed by the thought of making a career transition? I've been there and I understand the challenges you face. That's why I created the Career Compass, the ultimate guide for high achieving corporate women to make career transitions with ease. The Career Compass breaks down the decision making process into 5 clear steps, helping you make savvy, empowered career decisions. Head over to karenfreeland.com/career-compass right now and download this invaluable resource. It's completely free and will get you on the path to a more fulfilling career. Go to karenfreeland.com/career-compass now. Welcome to Rock Your Reinvention, where I help high-achieving career women like you get unstuck, make your corporate exit strategy, and successfully transition to your next chapter. Hi, I'm your host, Karen Freeland, a certified life coach and corporate exit strategist. Whether you want to start a business, become a speaker, or something else, I'm here to give you the tools and strategies to shift your mindset, build your confidence, and take bold actions so you can rock your reinvention. Ready? Let's go. Let's talk career transitions today. Welcome back, ladies. I'm so glad to be here with you today. I want to share some of the mistakes that I see women making when it comes to making a career pivot, no matter how big or small that change may seem. Sometimes I see these mistakes crop up when we're just changing jobs in the same company, right? That's probably more of a seemingly small change. And sometimes I see it when someone is leaving corporate altogether to go start a business, obviously a much bigger change. I also see this at all levels, from entry-level women fresh out of college or in their first job already, to those senior women leading entire departments, hundreds of people reporting into them. So whatever change you're making, these pitfalls are going to apply to your situation in some way, shape, or form. And I think that that's the hardest part for a lot of women, is having the courage to acknowledge that you're falling into a trap. An unnecessary trap at that, because a lot of times these are self-fabricated. It can be painful, but it can also lead you to a breakthrough that you've been looking for, you've been craving. So I know it's not easy to face these facts, but trust me when I say it will be worth it. So let me start by just celebrating you for being willing to look at yourself and your situation differently, with a fresh set of eyes, a new perspective, and being really honest with yourself about which of these pitfalls are plaguing you and how you're going to overcome them. And look, if I can do it, any of you can do it, because I have faced a number of these myself. And like I always say, I'm no unicorn. There's nothing special about me, right? I just didn't give up. I just would not allow myself to live the life I didn't love anymore. And so I hope that you're in that place too, because armed with that passion and that drive, and then knowing what pitfalls to avoid, you are going to be unstoppable. So today I want to walk you through the first 5 pitfalls of career transitions and how to avoid them. And what I'm going to do is something a little bit different and break this up into 2 episodes. And next week, I'm going to come back and break down the other 5 pitfalls. So you'll have 10 in total. But this way, you're going to have more time to really digest them and give it some thought, and not just stop at thought, but take some action based on what you're learning. Then next week, we'll keep going with some new food for thought, which will obviously entail some new actions on your part. So if you're ready to dive in, let's do this. Pitfall number 1, throwing spaghetti at the wall, aka resumes everywhere. This, friends, is undermining your talent and expertise. Plus, it is a lot of wasted energy, typically for jobs that you don't really want and at companies that you'd actually hate working for. We've all been there. You're in this toxic situation at work and all you want is out. You're like, I don't even care. I'll go be a janitor. I'll go work at Starbucks. I can't tell you how many of my clients have said that to me. Karen, at this point, I don't even care. I'll just go be a barista at Starbucks. And then I'm like, all right, so let's start working on your resume for Starbucks. And they're like, no, no, just kidding. No, I was in a bad place that day. I don't really want to do that. I'm like, yeah, I didn't think you did. But here's the thing, when we operate from this place of neediness and frantic energy, we actually end up spinning our wheels and burning out much faster. We're just beating ourselves up. One of my clients had applied to almost 100 jobs before we started working together. This is not an exaggeration. And the amount of rejection she experienced was doing a number on her confidence. But these weren't even jobs that she really wanted. She was just like, I'll go for anything right now. Anything would be better. But in reality, it wouldn't have been better. And the universe knew that. So the universe blocked all 100 of those opportunities. So when we started working together, we were able to reset, define her dream job, her ideal salary, the type of culture she wanted. And we built a dream list of 10 organizations that she could thoughtfully pursue. And shocker, in a few months, she had landed several interviews at those companies and shortly after was hired on at more than her dream salary. Not a coincidence, not luck. No, strategically going after what she knew deep down she wanted and deserved. And don't think this is just reserved for corporate moves only. I see you, entrepreneur. I see entrepreneurs make these mistakes all the time. And it usually comes in the form of taking every single client that comes into your world, even the ones you know aren't a good fit, or trying to pursue too many activities at once. Again, you're just throwing spaghetti at the wall and hoping something sticks and takes off instead of choosing 1 to 2 key focus areas and going all in on those. No more spaghetti, ladies. We have got to be more strategic than that. So instead, I want you to get really targeted about the change that you want to make. Write out the details of exactly what you want this to look like, feel like, what you want to be paid, etc. Manifest that dream career and then take the focused action to bring it to fruition. That's the formula. So pitfall number 1, throwing spaghetti at the wall, putting resumes everywhere, taking anything that comes your way. Nope, we're not doing this anymore. No more spaghetti. Because if something does accidentally stick, oh, you're going to find yourself in a world of hurt and you're going to be miserable. So let's not, and let's be targeted. Okay, pitfall number 2, not networking enough. If you're waiting for someone to tap you on the shoulder with the opportunity of a lifetime, you're going to be waiting a long, long, long time. This is what our networks are built for. I mean, really, what's the point of having a network if you're not going to leverage it? Seriously, like what a waste. Why did you bother building it in the first place? And you might be like, I don't have a good network. I never really put any stock into that. Well, guess what? Now's the time. You need to actually go out and actively build your network. And then once you have the network, we want to make sure you're connecting with the people in your sphere and letting them know how they can help you. People are not mind readers. Wouldn't that be, well, I don't know if I would want people to read my mind, but it would be great if people knew, oh, Karen would like some new coaching clients, but they don't. So I have to actually ask them and say, hey, do you know any women like this in these types of jobs who are feeling stuck and frustrated? They want to change, but they don't know how. Yep, that's a great person for you to send to me. That's my ideal client. Right? You have to spoon feed your network. If they don't know you're looking for a new job or that you want to change industries, they are not going to be able to help you because they're just going about their daily life, living the way they live. You have to get in front of them. So when was the last time you went to a networking event? And if you have to look through your calendar to get the date, I can tell you right now, it's not frequent enough. I went to one last Wednesday. Like I know when it is, right? Because it's that important to me. Now, they don't have to be in person, but there is some value to that, right? There's some benefit to getting in front of people face to face. But virtual absolutely works too. I know not everyone's schedule, can account for that. Sometimes it's really great to just be able to dial in from a Zoom, right? But I'm an entrepreneur, so I work alone a lot, and except for when I'm on client calls. So I really do love to get out and do some stuff face to face because it gets me out of the house. And it's just, there's something extra special about networking with someone face to face. But here's the thing, bottom line, you can't just go to a networking event and then not follow up afterwards, right? You have to build that relationship. If you really want the network to work for you, you have to maintain contact. Now, that doesn't mean you're messaging these people every week, right? But if you go a couple of months and you haven't talked to that person, find a reason to send them a note or just, hey, checking in, how have things been going? I remember you said XYZ. What's the status with that? Any updates? Anything that you can do to get back in front of them. And then when they respond to you, oh, by the way, I wanted to let you know I'm actually looking. Do you know anybody hiring a VP of operations or whatever it is that you're looking to do? So if you're accepting my challenge, and this is one of your areas, one of the pitfalls that you have found yourself in is you don't network enough, you don't have enough people to reach out to help you make your career transition, go ahead and book at least 2 networking events in the next 20 days. I know you can do it. You can find the time. And then commit to following up with everyone that you have a meaningful conversation with. Okay. Now, depending on how many people are at this networking event, I went to one recently. There were 7 of us, I think 6 or 7 of us. There was no reason I couldn't send a follow-up note to every single one of those people. But if I go to one and there's 40 or 50 people there, I'm not going to send a note to all 40 or 50. I'm just going to send a note to the 5 or 6 that I have meaningful conversations with. Okay. I know you can do it. Get out there and start networking because that just might be the key to your next opportunity. Okay. Pitfall number 3, I see women falling into when they are trying to make a career transition is that they are trying to prove something to others instead of following their heart. You probably weren't expecting that one, huh? You might even be rewinding this going, did she just say what I thought she said? It's like she's in my head. Yep. Trying to prove something to others instead of following your heart. Well, I've made this mistake personally, so I know this one all too well. It's why I was bored a few months after every single promotion. I was always chasing the next carrot and trying to get the next hit of dopamine. Now, some of you may not know this, but I wasn't the best kid growing up. Especially in my teen years, I got in a lot of trouble. I was actually voted class troublemaker my senior year. And if you read my first book, The Ins and Outs of My Vagina, a penetrating memoir, you know I grew up fast. So everyone around me was always saying things and assuming that I would never make it, right? I was going to be a failure. If I didn't turn my life around, I'd be poor for the rest of my life and working at the grocery store as the checkout girl forever, right? Not that there's anything wrong with that, but like that was what was put on me. Is that like you didn't succeed if that's your job. If you don't get out of this town, if you don't do something impressive, you've failed. So I had a lot, I thought, to prove to others. Look at me, I'm successful. Look how much money I make. Look at the car I drive. I'm important. Look at my job, right? Any of this ringing a bell? I mean, we all have our own childhood wounds, right? I won't call it trauma because I don't think, in my mind, I don't see it as trauma, but certainly some wounds, right? And so, what have you been trying to prove to others? What childhood wounds are getting in your way? And when will you make the conscious decision to let it go? I don't have to prove anything to anyone. I don't care anymore. Not that I don't care about what I'm doing. I do very deeply. But I don't care about impressing others. That's not my driver anymore. So I want to invite you to start following your heart. Stop letting your childhood experiences drive the car. Kick them out. Get in the driver's seat today, right now. Start trusting your instincts and follow that dream that you've been given. And don't you dare say to me that you don't know what the dream is, okay? Because you do. It's in there. Now, you may not have unearthed it yet, but believe me when I say there is a dream in there and you have it. You just need to find it if you don't know what it is. I just posted a video about a client breakthrough inside my Facebook group, Successful Working Women, Rocking Reinvention. And I talked about this exact idea of I had a client who told me time and time again, I don't have a dream. I've never had a dream. And then 20 minutes later in the same call, she's like, I've always dreamed of, I'm like, you're kidding me, miss. I don't have a dream. I'm like, there it is. We just found it. So trust me, you have a dream. We just need to unearth it. Okay. So if you're not a member of the Facebook group and you want to go watch that video, make sure you go in today and you'll get access to that and a lot of other exclusive content. Okay. So pitfall number 3, we're not going to try to prove anything to anyone anymore. You're now putting your heart in the driver's seat. Is go time. Okay. Pitfall number 4, not recognizing your transferable skills. See this a lot. Or worse yet, thinking you don't have any transferable skills at all. Yikes. I see that too. No, you have so many strengths and positive qualities. Any organization or venture that you could go on would be lucky to tap into that. Lucky. It's time you started seeing what everyone else sees in you. I ask my clients this a lot. I'm like, how many times have you been promoted in your career? Like, oh, 5, 8, 10 times. I'm like, okay, well, you don't get promoted that much without being a complete rock star at what you do. Everybody else has been betting on you. So why don't you start betting on yourself? And here's the thing, I guarantee you didn't know everything on day 1 of any of those promotions. If you did, you're better than me because every time I got promoted, I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I got them to give me this job. This should be fun. I hope I can do it. Like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm going to figure it out. Yeah. Like we get so stuck then when we've been in a job for so long or an industry for so long, and we just think, oh, I'm only good because I've been here. I've been doing this way for so long. No, that is a transferable skill. Why do you think you can't completely change industries or start a consulting business? I mean, why do you think that you have nothing to say in a book or speaking on stage? I mean, come on. You are selling yourself short. And remember, being a quick learner and being able to navigate change is a strength itself. And I think a lot of times we do this because what we do comes so naturally to us that we don't see it as skills, right? We forget that these things are our superpowers. Now, we also sometimes do it out of a fear of success. Yes, I said fear of success, right? We fear that if we succeed, we're going to stand out too much or separate ourselves from our tribe. That can be scary. How will others react to me if I get this big promotion? Or if I leave and go to a different industry? What are they going to think? Right? Again, stop worrying about others and start following your heart. But remember that you have these skills and they are transferable. So go back to your strengths. And I won't even say unique qualities because I hear that a lot of times and I think that word hinders us. I go, unique? I don't think this is that unique. You might be really good at communicating on behalf of senior leadership, for example. But because you know other people that are also good at it, you don't see it as a strength because it's so easy for you. You're just like, oh, can't everybody do this? So I don't want you to think of unique as in you're the only one, but think of it as things that you do well that other people praise you for, or look to you for help with. All of those qualities are worth focusing on and highlighting when you're making a move. And I think too often we've all heard the stats, men will apply for jobs when they have, 40% of the skill set or 60%, something like that. And then women will wait until they have 100% of the skill set, right? Because again, we're not truly seeing our transferable skills for what they are. So here's the question. If you started focusing on what skills you do have versus the ones you don't, what next step would that allow you to take? Give it some thought. And then ask yourself, when will you take it by? Give yourself a deadline. Do it right now. Okay, so pitfall number 5, this is the last one I want to share on today's episode, is succumbing to decision fatigue. And if you're like me, I didn't realize decision fatigue was a thing until I started getting into coaching. And I realized that that was something I had been plagued with for years. I just didn't know what to call it. So this is where you feel like you have so many options that you talk yourself in circles, right? You have all the pro cons lists. You've thought about everything. You just weighed all this stuff around in your head. It's all swirling together. And then you just ultimately get frustrated because you've overthought everything. You throw your hands up in the air and you're like, never mind, I'll just stay put. I'll just keep rotting away in that soul-sucking job another year. Look, I'm not judging you. I did it for 4 years before I finally had the courage to own my decision. So I get it. But I don't want you to waste that precious time like I did. You're ready for a move right now. So let's get you there by getting clear on the options that are available to you. And this may require a little dreaming, a little brainstorming. So don't limit yourself. You want to capture all the options on paper. But then, rather than just looking at this list of ideas, you need to develop a set of criteria that you can match each one of these options up against. That will get you to a more objective decision. One that's actually a fit for you with a capital Y-O-U, not a fit for anybody else or other people's expectations of you. Truly, what is a fit for you and your value set? What is that criteria that you could use? Oh, I'm so glad you asked. Well, the best thing to do here is to download my new free resource, the Career Compass. It is a detailed decision framework that is going to help you take all of the emotion out of your next career move. It's going to help you get clear on your options and determine the best fit for you right now based on your preferred criteria. And I share a couple of different ways for you to look at this. So it's not one size fits all. There's not only one way to do it. You can customize this decision framework to your preferences. So do yourself a favor and go get your free copy at KarenFreeland.com/career-compass. Of course, you know that link will be in the show notes, so it'll be super easy for you just to click, put your email in, download it, and get to work on overcoming decision fatigue. This is your first step to making that empowered career transition that you want to make. And next week, I'm going to be back with 5 other considerations and pitfalls that I see women falling into when it comes to career transitions. So let's just do a quick recap before we go. Pitfall number 1, throwing spaghetti at the wall, or AKA resumes everywhere. Don't fall into this trap because you are either going to end up fatigued and tired and frustrated and overwhelmed and feeling rejected, or you are going to end up somewhere that you don't actually want to be. And then you're right back at square one, having wasted a whole lot of energy. Pitfall number 2, not networking enough and leveraging that network. Make sure you get out there. You are meeting new connections who can open doors for you. And once you meet a connection, keep the relationship going. Number 3, trying to prove something to others instead of following your heart. Don't do that. You have nothing to prove to anyone, not really even yourself. You don't even have to prove things to yourself. Like you just get to be, you just get to enjoy and follow your heart and do the thing that you feel called to do. That's what I want for you. Pitfall number 4, not recognizing your transferable skills. We all have them. Let's recognize the ones that are specific to us and leverage the crap out of them. And then lastly, pitfall number 5, succumbing to decision fatigue and just saying, forget it and staying stuck. That is not a place that is fun to be. You don't deserve to be there. And there is a way out. Go get the career compass, KarenFreeland.com/career-compass. It's waiting for you. And if you know someone that would benefit from this episode, will you please share it with them so that we can help more women make savvy career moves and live their purpose-driven life? I would appreciate that. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you're inspired to take action by committing to one of the tips or strategies we talked about in today's episode. If you want more accountability and support, I've got your back. Book a complimentary Empowered Exit Strategy call today. Visit KarenFreeland.com to learn more and book your 45-minute session. Until next time, stay fabulous.